Well, guys, thanks to you, we did it. 5,000 subscribers. We grew so much in just a couple of weeks, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So I figured, what's a better way to celebrate this milestone than you guys getting to know me a little better? So I asked you guys for questions, whether it be about Splatoon, my life, my interests, my career, all of that stuff. And now, here we are. It's time to answer over 100 questions. Let's do this. So to make things easier for you guys, I'm going to be timestamping every single question in the description and comments. So if you guys are interested in only hearing certain questions, you can just skip around to where you'd like. After reading all the questions, I noticed that there were a notable number of repeats. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to start out with some of the most frequently asked questions, since it's very clear that this is the stuff you guys want to know. Then once we get through those, we'll get into the more specific questions. Alright, are you guys ready? Here we go. So perhaps the most frequently asked question was this: how and when did you get into Splatoon? So I actually got into Splatoon about a week after the first game came out on the Wii U in 2015. I honestly thought Splatoon looked kinda lame, but people in my friend group got it and they were telling me that it was really fun and I needed to try it. So I sucked it up and just bought it. And I think that was one of the best decisions I've ever made, because after that, I fell in love. The next commonly asked question was, what got you into maining Doolies and using them in a competitive environment? So to be honest with you guys, for like the first 7 months of the game's lifespan, I wasn't even interested in Doolies at all. I thought they were really gimmicky and I didn't care to even try them. But in March of 2018, Nintendo announced a new Dooley that would be able to dodge roll 4 times, which really caught my attention. I also thought that the Tetra Dualies just looked super cool. Like, it was definitely the coolest looking weapon in the game, in my opinion. So when they came out, I tried them. Obviously, I was pretty terrible with them, especially since I had no prior experience with Dualies at all. After trying them out for a bit, I remember that I actually took a few months off from Splatoon 2, just because during that time I was pretty busy with graduating high school and getting my driver's license and all that stuff. But once life settled down for me again, I decided to go back to Splatoon. I just remembered that the Tetra Dualies were the last weapon that I used, so I just used them again to, I guess, pick up where I left off. Now, I don't know what changed, but from that day onward, Tetra Dualies just clicked with me. I was like going off in League and Ranked, and I was having the most fun that I've had with the game so far. And then after getting pretty familiar with the Tetras, like after getting 1 million turf painted on them or something, I decided to try out some of the other Dualies. And then I was like, wait a second, these feel good too. After playing around with a bit of them, I ultimately decided that Tetras would be my main primary weapon, Glugas would be my secondary, and Dapples would be my third. As for using Dualies in competitive Splatoon 2, there honestly wasn't too much thought put into it. I only started playing competitive Splatoon in March of 2020, and by that point, I think Dualies were already considered to be pretty bad. But you know, I'm a committed guy. I'm not just gonna stop using what I like because it's not considered good in the meta or whatever. One thing you guys should know about me is that in any competitive game that I play, I tend to gravitate towards less popular meta picks. Just as a comparison, I used to play competitive Mario Kart, and I was actually pretty good. I was on like a top division team at one point. But if you know anything about Mario Kart 8, you'd know that karts pretty much dominate the inside drifting bikes in every possible way, especially in the Wii U game. But hey, guess what I made in that game? Yep, I used the inward drifting bikes. And if you scroll back on my channel, you guys can actually find some competitive Mario Kart videos with me using them. Anyway, went a little off topic there, but my point is that I tend to find myself gravitating towards less commonly used things in a competitive video game environment. As for Doolies being bad in Splatoon 2, there were definitely times where I would get discouraged. I'd be like, is there even a point to this? Trying to make Doolies work in comp is so hard. But ultimately, I did stick through, and I managed to get some pretty good results with them. I was never like a top player or anything like that, but I did take some sets off of some really good teams. The most notable one that I remember was my team 2-0ing another top team called Arctic Moon. But yeah, now that I'm like growing an audience on YouTube and stuff, and Dualies are kind of what I'm known for, there's no way I could stop now. The next FAQ is, do you still play competitive Splatoon 2? So I never actually like formally announced this on here, but I actually do not. I am retired from comp as of now, and I have been for almost a year. But don't get me wrong, I still play Splatoon 2. Like, I'll still hop in ranked and league fairly often, but I rarely scrim or play in tournaments anymore. I don't play as much as I used to, mainly just because of burnout, and the special spam meta just got to be a little too painful for me. But do not worry, guys, the content will not be stopping anytime soon, and as of right now, I do plan to get back into comp when Splatoon 3 rolls around. The only thing that could interfere with that is school, but we will see what happens. The final frequently asked question that I'll be covering here is, what kits would you want for every Dooley in Splatoon 3? My answer to this is, be patient, because I'm in the process of making a whole video dedicated to this very topic right now, so please look forward to that. Alrighty, now with those out of the way, let's get into some more specific questions. M. Tatters asks, do you think Nintendo should handle the whole Dooley class as shooters with more movement, or just normal type slayers that can roll? I think normal type slayers that can roll, just because I don't want Dualies to be similar to shooters in any way. I want them to be their own thing. Like, yeah, I know they're pretty similar to shooters, but I like the idea of them being considered like a whole new thing rather than just shooters with more movement. So yeah, the second option. Bolt says, hi Chase, I really admire how you seem to like being different to the rest on a competitive level, but how far would you go to maintain this, even if it led to you playing something deemed completely unviable? So that's a good question. I'm willing to take it pretty far. I feel like I already, again, as I said earlier in the Q&A, in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, I used inward bikes, and those things were literally unviable, I think. On the Switch version, they're a bit more viable, but on the Wii U version, there was like this whole fire hopping technique, which like bikes couldn't even do. So yeah, they were pretty useless. And I used them, and I was able to get like some results with it. So yeah, I'm willing to use something that's pretty unviable, but with Splatoon, it's a little different just because of like, the meta and stuff. And there's also like specials, very different from Mario Kart. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. As of right now, I want to say that I will try my best to use something even if it's completely unviable. But that's a good thing though, like about Splatoon 3. Like even if Doolies do suck in the beginning, like Nintendo could just patch it because they're gonna probably patch the game for like a good 3 or 4 years, right? So we have that to look forward to. But yeah, so I want to say I would try my best to make it work even if it was like super painful. But yeah. Isaac says, hey, I just recently discovered you after watching your Tetra Dualies guide, and it was super insightful. Thank you. So I wanted to ask, what is your favorite non-Dualie weapon? I'd say it's a toss-up between Foil Flingza Roller, which I use a lot still, and 96 Gal, which I don't use much anymore, but that was my favorite weapon at one point. So yeah. Okay, Oi Damer has a few questions. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. First, they say, do you work in another thing that is not YouTube? So yeah, I actually do. I'm going to wait for another question to answer this because some other people asked about my career. So I'm just going to answer that for those. So if you want, you can just check the timestamp if you want to skip to those. He also asked, do you have a specific route for every map and every game mode? No. I kind of just wing it, to be honest. I mean, when I'm playing with like a team in a competitive setting, yeah, I do. But when I play like solo, no. I kind of just go to mid and just try to pick a fight right away, which might not be the smartest thing, but that is what I do. And then finally they ask, do you have a fun in a match with Bamboos or with MPU? No, I do not. That is some of the least fun that I have playing a video game, to be honest with you. It is very, very painful. Greetings from Spain. Thank you for watching, Oidemer. All right. Next question. Roy Woomy asks, hello, I just wanted to say thank you for putting out all the amazing content for Splatoon fans to enjoy. It helped a lot. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you. And the question is, why do you think people, and maybe yourself, love the Splatoon community over others? That's a good question. The Splatoon community, just from what I've seen, I wouldn't say I'm like super involved in the Splatoon community, but I do talk with some people. And then from what I've seen, people are just super friendly. Like, yeah, of course there are a few stinkers, but yeah, it just seems overly friendly, like especially compared to like some other gaming communities that I've been in. But yeah, no, people are just really understanding, really friendly, and I think people are very easy to get along with, very supportive. Yeah, I think that's why. And then, the Splatoon lore and all that stuff, it's just really intriguing for people, so I think naturally a lot more people are invested in it. But yeah, so I think that is why I like the Splatoon community, at least. I can't really speak for others, but that's what I think. Okay, Nana asks, what would be your perfect gear if it existed in Splatoon? What would it look like? Would there be any special abilities that we haven't seen yet on it? Example, you get one more dodge roll. By the way, your videos are amazing. Thank you, Nana. So my perfect gear in Splatoon would be this, to be honest with you. This is my main gear in Splatoon 2 for Tetra Dualies. It has a little bit of everything. It's everything that I would want. It's just perfect for Tetra Dualies. I actually kind of copied this from some other Tetra players. I didn't come up with this, but it was for good reason because this is a great build. And then you ask, would there be any special abilities I haven't seen yet on it? Example, you get one more dodge roll. I'm a little confused by this, but I'm assuming you mean like, are there any like new abilities that would come up with, like you get one more dodge roll? No, not really. I'm not really creative when it comes to stuff like that. There's definitely some other people who make videos like Chara who are very good at theorizing stuff like that. So I'll leave that to them. But yeah, I don't really have any ideas for new abilities. All right, so Agent Fox here has some really good questions. So first they say, do you think you'll ever move on from Splatoon in terms of making content? Or maybe not ditching Splatoon, but adding more variety to the content that you make? Yeah, definitely. So if you guys might have already noticed that I've been uploading some other gameplay from some other games recently. Like I was doing Mario Kart for a bit, just in hype of the new DLC tracks, even though I did stop playing that again kind of. But when the new wave of DLC tracks come out, I'll make videos again for it. And then I've been uploading some Squid Sports as well, which is another game that I'm surprisingly enjoying a lot right now. So yeah, basically, I kind of just upload gameplay for games that I'm just currently playing. That's basically how I like to look at it. But yeah, in the future, I would love to expand and upload. I would love to be able to upload anything, but I know that that's not the best for the YouTube algorithm and your channel. So I'll see what happens. Maybe if I get popular enough, like I'll make another channel for other games or something. Who knows? We'll get there when we get there. Next, you say, why did you start making content? What keeps you motivated to make content? I just started making content. I just liked sharing my gameplay, I guess. I don't know. That's what really inspired me. And then when I got into Splatoon, I discovered that like people actually kind of like what I have to say, and they want to know about tips about how I use certain things. So that's what got me into making guides and stuff. Well, keeps you motivated? You guys, duh. I know that's a generic answer, but it truly is you guys. When I see all the comments and stuff saying like, oh, like you really helped me out a lot. You inspired me to use so-and-so, or, I really love watching you, like that. That's what keeps me going. So I'm not just saying that. That is the truth. And lastly, what is the hardest part of being a creator? And do you have any advice for those who want to start? The hardest part of being a creator for me is just when you put a lot of work into a video and it doesn't perform to your standards. Like you expect it to get a certain amount of views. It does not meet those views. It just makes you feel like, oh, well, that was a waste of time, But, that's all part of YouTube. That's just how it works. You got to get over that stuff. It's going to happen, especially if you make a lot of videos. But, if you pull through, I think you'll succeed in the end. And do you have any advice for those who want to start? Yes, I do. So I've had a lot of people ask me, like, what's your main tip for someone starting out? And then my answer to that is, if you're just starting out, don't put a whole lot of effort into some video if you have like 0 subscribers. And the reason I say that is because just the way the YouTube algorithm works, it's going to be very hard for your video to catch on if you don't have a following yet. It's possible. It could very well happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very unlikely. So my advice, and this is what I did to start out, is that you should kind of just take it slow in the beginning. Like just upload some basic gameplay. Like you don't even need commentary. Just upload basic stuff that's easy to edit, doesn't really take much of your time, and be consistent with it. And then eventually you will develop a small following. Like it might take some time, but once you develop, I don't know, like 100 subscribers, anywhere between 100 to 500, I think that's when you could start, putting a little more effort into your videos and, making some more advanced content, like making guides and stuff. So yeah, my advice is just take it slow in the beginning. Don't just put a bunch of effort into stuff right off the bat, because I think it will leave you disappointed. Start slow and then work your way up. That's my advice. Megaspark says, if you could design a new gear ability, what would it be? I would personally want a non-stackable ability that boosts run speed and swim speed when you get a kill for about 10 seconds, but if you get killed while having it, your opponent gets it. That's pretty interesting. That's similar to opening Gambit, except for the opponent trading part. But again, I'm not really creative when it comes to theorizing stuff like this. I don't know, maybe jump distance up. I don't know, like maybe you could jump higher and it's a stackable ability. I don't know. I'm not really good with this type of stuff, but that's mine, I guess. What sort of advice would you give to someone who wants to get into Dualies in Splatoon 3? My main advice is, well, it's hard because we don't really know how Dualies are going to work in Splatoon 3 yet, but assuming they work the same as Splatoon 2, my advice is don't spam your rolls. It's very easy to pick it up and just spam your B button, just dodge roll everywhere. But you don't really want to do that. You want to be cautious. And lastly, they say, outside of Splatoon / making content, what kind of things are you interested in? Well, besides Splatoon, I do play other games. Play like Mario Kart, Switch Sports, Animal Crossing, all that stuff. I play other games. But I assume you mean like more broad, like real life stuff. So in real life, one piece of media that I am very greatly interested in is a show called Ninja Warrior, or American Ninja Warrior. I'm sure you guys have at least heard of that. And the original version of that show in Japan called Sasuke. I am a massive fan of those two shows. Mainly Sasuke, but I do like American Ninja Warrior as well. I think Sasuke's way better though. I am a gigantic super fan of this show. I've been watching it since I was like 6. I've been watching it for many years. I legit like study this show and I know a lot about it, and I even train for it a bit. So yeah, that's Ninja Warrior is a big part of my life. I'm literally such a big fan of Sasuke that like I'll wake up at like 2-3 a.m. to watch it when it airs live in Japan, just so I could see it live. That's how big of a fan I am. A lot of my close friends who I've known for a while know that I kind of love Ninja Warrior. I talk about it way too much. So if anyone else in the comments who's listening likes Ninja Warrior, definitely let me know. Let me know how big of a fan you are, because I'd be very curious to know. So Ninja Warrior is a big part of my life. Other things, I like calisthenics, which kind of ties into the whole Ninja Warrior thing. Calisthenics are basically bodyweight exercises, so push-ups, pull-ups. I prefer bodyweight exercises a lot more than weightlifting. I just find them a lot more fun. I find them a lot more useful and practical. That kind of ties into the whole Ninja Warrior thing. That's kind of what got me into that in the first place. I like rock climbing, even though I don't go super often anymore, but I did rock climb a bit for a while. I like watching TV. I watch quite a bit of TV shows. I watch anime too. Although with anime, that's something I only recently got into, like within the past 2 years. Before that, I really didn't watch any anime, but now I've seen a few animes. So, but yeah, that's all I'll get into with that for now. I could go on for hours about stuff that I enjoy and that I'm interested in, but I won't make this too long. But yeah, thank you for the question. Toxic Fur asks, what's your favorite color? Green. It was green for a while. I like purple a lot too. I think those are my top 2. And what is it about Doolies that made you pick them up? Doolies are just, I like their aggressiveness. I like how you can kind of just get in people's faces and roll around and still have a good chance of killing them if you know what you're doing. But again, if you don't know what you're doing, you just spam your rolls. It's not going to end well. So you need to at least know what you're doing. I just like the aggressiveness of Doolies. It fits me. It fits the way I play video games. And then the last question they say is any hobbies you have. I kind of just explained that in the last question, so I will not answer that again. But yeah, thank you for the question, Toxic Fur. Emperor Boo Glitch says, well, to me, the thing that got you popular is probably the fact that you were part of a group of big and important Splatubers, and the fact that you are a rather friendly Splatuber. And then there is also the fact that you were a Dooley main, making your insight incredibly valuable. There's also your more silent and epic style videos and the kind of music you use for them. Great analysis, Emperor Boo. I agree with you. As for a question, I really and honestly don't know. What kind of games do you play aside from Splatoon? I mainly play Nintendo games. Like, currently I play Splatoon, of course. I play a bit of Mario Kart. I used to play a lot of Mario Kart. Mario Kart used to be my main game, but now, not as much, just because I got kind of burned out waiting for Mario Kart 9. I play Nintendo Switch Sports right now, because surprisingly I actually like that game, even though I thought I would hate it. I like Animal Crossing a lot, even though I don't really like Animal Crossing New Horizons that much. But as a series, I love Animal Crossing. I like Zelda Breath of the Wild, amazing game. Yeah, mainly Nintendo stuff. What genres of various medias, like books or movies, do you like? I I kind of like a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say there's a specific genre that I like. When it comes to, I guess I like action stuff. I think like I enjoy animes when I watch like an epic anime, like I don't know, Gundam or 86. Those are like epic animes with like really good music and stuff, which is kind of I use for inspiration for some of my older like music videos that I make for Splatoon. So yeah, I guess that's my favorite kind of thing. But I kind of just like whatever's good, to be honest. And lastly, they say, what do you think of each Splatoon character? I'm assuming you mean like the characters in the story mode. I'm not gonna go into every character, but I'll give you the basic ones. Callie I like, Marie I do not like, Pearl I do not like, Marina I like, Captain Cuttlefish is fine, Sea Cucumber is the best of all of them, and I will stop there. Kay says, hey Chase, first off, congrats on 5K. Thank you very much, Kay. Second off, you really inspired me to use light Tetris more, even pushing to X rank with them. You're a huge inspiration to me and my team of Dooley friends. Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoy my stuff, and I'm glad I could be an inspiration. Third, if you couldn't main Dualies, what weapons would you main? So right now, actually, I do actually use a weapon that's not a dually, and that is the foil flings a roller. So I guess I would probably main rollers. If not rollers, then shooters. But ideally, I would not want to main shooters because that is very basic and lame. So yeah, but I shooters. I can do decent with shooters just because of shooters. So that'd probably be my third choice. Helix says, not really a question, but hope you're having fun with Splatoon and with your channel progress. I love tuning into your videos. Appreciate it, Helix. And yes, I am having fun. And I'm hoping that when Splatoon 3 comes around, I'll have much more fun. But thank you, Helix. I appreciate the comment. Nylama says, I really love your content and I'm very proud that you're on your way to 5K subscribers. My question is, do you think that Doolies will be good in Splatoon 3? Since the Squid role was added, do you think it makes Doolies lose their purpose? So yeah, Nylama, this is something that I've been wondering a lot myself, and I can't really give you an answer because I don't know yet, but if I had to guess, I think Doolies are gonna be okay. I'm sure Nintendo is figured out a way to balance them and still make them usable without completely making them irrelevant or making them too powerful. And in the beginning of Splatoon 3, even if they didn't do it right, they could just patch the game. So I don't think we have to worry. I think Dualies will end up being okay. And then you say, what stage do you want to come back in Splatoon 3 the most? Flounder Heights or Hammerhead Bridge from Splatoon 1 are the two maps that I want to come back. Hammerhead, just because that map is like kind of funny. And I like that map. I found it similar to Camp Triggerfish. It just reminds me a lot of that map, even though they're not really similar at all. But just like the grates that you have to run across, it reminds me a lot of Camp Triggerfish. And I like Camp Triggerfish, so I like Hammerhead. And Flounder Heights, I love that map. It's kind of ironic because I don't even think Doolies would be good on that map. I think they would kind of be bad there, just given the terrain and stuff. But just for the sake of it, a lot of people do like Flounder Heights. I want it to come back. Misael asks, yo Chase, congrats for hitting 5K. I'm so proud of you, man. Your videos inspire me to use Doolies during rank battles, and I really accept it. I'm assuming that's a typo. I assume you mean like appreciate it or something. Yeah, I'm glad I inspired you. And your question is, what's your favorite Nintendo games of all time besides the Splatoon series? Ooh, that's a tough one. I think number one is Mario Kart. I kind of love Mario Kart, especially Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8. I love Animal Crossing too. As I said before, I don't really like Animal Crossing New Horizons very much, but every other game I adore. Zelda, can't go wrong with Zelda. Love Breath of the Wild. Love Wind Waker even more, actually. So I'd say those three are my favorites besides Splatoon. Arjun says, firstly, I just want to say that I love your content. You're really up there with Dude and Chara and Negus for me. Thank you, Arjun. I appreciate that. In terms of questions, do you think you'll continue to main Doolies in Splatoon 3, or are you going to try a different class? And also, what is your favorite map and your favorite ranked mode? So, yeah, I am definitely going to try and still main Doolies in Splatoon 3. Who knows? Maybe I'll discover something else that I like a lot, but I'm not going to ditch Doolies. I'm always going to use Doolies. You can count on that. But yeah, I'll probably use rollers and stuff too. I'll probably try out shooters a bit. So yeah, I'll definitely try stuff out. But no, Doolies will always be my number one at heart. And you say, what is your favorite map and your favorite ranked mode? So I assume you're talking about Splatoon 1 and 2 combined. My favorite map would have to be, it might be Flounder Heights or Salt Spray Rig. I know Salt Spray Rig is crazy because that's like one of the worst maps, but it's just so iconic to me, and I love the moving platforms, and I just remember having so much fun on that map. So yeah, Salt Spray or Flounder Heights, even Hammerhead Bridge I liked a lot too. So if any of those maps came back in Splatoon 3, I would definitely be happy about that. And favorite ranked mode in Splatoon 2, it's definitely Rainmaker or Tower Control. But even Splat Zones I like as well. Like, Splat Zones isn't that far down. The only one I don't like is Clam Blitz, really. But yeah, Splat Zones, Rainmaker, Tower Control, I like all of those. But favorite, it's literally a tie between Rainmaker and Tower Control. I think Tower Control works for Dooley's a little better because Tower Control is a mode that promotes the most holding forward, I think. And then, that's basically what Dooley's do. So yeah, I think weapon-wise, Tower Control is my best mode. But in terms of just my favorite one, yeah, it's a toss-up between Rainmaker or Tower Control. Lucas says, "Hi Chase, I'm trying out the Tetras and I wonder how much it took to get to this level with a non-meta weapon. I love your content." Thank you, Lucas. So yeah, it took a while, to be honest with you. I started using Tetras basically when they came out, and I've used them up until now, and I still feel like I'm improving. Granted, I definitely had ups and downs. Like, once I quit comp, I definitely took a decline in my skill, but it's gone up and down since then. But yeah, I feel good about my gameplay right now, but I'm not a top player or anything like that. I still have a lot of room to improve, so it takes a while. Playing with the right people definitely helps. If you can play with people who are better than you and can teach you stuff, that definitely can help you improve at a faster rate. Brad asks, "What got you into Dualies?" I already answered this in the beginning, so skip to that timestamp in the description if you want to see the answer to that. You say, also, why do you not play Dually Squalters? Dually Squalters are just a weapon that I have personal gripes with, I think. But I just don't like how it's so different from the other 4 Dualies. It feels more like a shooter that can dodge roll compared to the other 4 Dualies, which feel a lot more unique. And, I kind of started hating the Dually Squalters after the meta where they were super popular, where they just had MPU and could just, 3-shot everything. That kind of bugged me. And then since then, they nerfed it, so even if I wanted to play it, it's actually a very hard weapon to use now. I respect it a lot more now, because it actually takes a lot of practice to be good with it. But yeah, it's too much effort for me to actually care to use it. And then you say, what are you looking forward for in Splatoon 3 Dooley-wise? To be honest, the thing I'm looking most forward to is just the possibility that Doolies could be good again. That is what I'm looking forward to. Because, in Splatoon 2, Doolies were good at one point, but as of the past few years, they have not been particularly good besides, the Dually Squalters. So I'm looking forward to the possibility of them potentially being, a meta pick again, top tier. Nothing would make me happier. Okay, I'm gonna apologize in advance. I do not know how to pronounce your name, Lane Doulas. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. But you say, what's your basic strategy for different modes? For example, in Clam Blitz, do you collect clams or just focus on kills? So with the weapons I use, so Tetras, Dapples, Galugas, those weapons are really kind of designed to just slay. They're not really designed to do objectives. So I'd say for every mode, I really do focus on just picking a good route to go at the start and just getting picks. Tetras and Dapples and stuff should not be riding tower. Of course, in Clam Blitz, I'll collect clams, to help score. I'm not saying I never pick up clams or anything, but, that's not my main purpose, that's the support or backline's job, to collect clams and ride tower and paint zone, stuff like that. And you say, and on Splat Zones, how do you manage to zone recap as with Tetras, a powerful special to help? Well, to be honest, Splashdown actually can be good for capping the zone, depending on the map. You just need to find a smart time to use it. Don't just use it when there's 4 enemies in the zone. Obviously, that's not going to work. But, if you just pick a good time to use it when the enemies are distracted, it actually can be good to cap on certain maps, like Humpback or Mako Mart. Those are, good maps for Splashdown. But yeah, Tetra's paint itself is pretty garbage. So in that sense, you kind of do need your teammates to be helping you a bit because they don't really paint by themselves. Thank you for the question. Infa here has a whopping 5 questions, but I already did kind of answer these first 2, so I'm going to skip over those. But you say, what do you want for Splatoon 3? New specials, weapons, movement, etc.? Yeah, I want all those things you just listed. I just want new stuff. That's all I want. But the main thing I want for Splatoon 3 is I want it to be less special focused and more main weapon focused. I think the way people play Splatoon 2 now is kind of lame, where you just kind of sit back, get missiles, get armor, then you go in. It's I don't know. I find that kind of lame. I like aggressiveness. I like holding forward. I like main weapon fights. That's what Splatoon's all about, in my opinion. So that's my hope. And then you say, what would you see yourself doing if you didn't do this? Well, right now I am in school and I'm studying film. So even if I wasn't doing this, I would probably still be doing that. So this is kind of just like a hobby of mine. I might do a bit more like working out and stuff if I wasn't doing this. But I am trying to like balance that in my life right now. Like I'm trying to balance working out and YouTube and school. So that is a challenge, but I am working on that. And then you say, what inspired the 247 compared to 24/7? So in another question, I'm going to explain the meaning behind the 24/7. But yeah, I just say 247 because it's just more simple. I just made a community post about this asking people what they thought. But yeah, I just did 247 because having a slash in my name would be kind of awkward and janky. So yeah, I just keep it as 247 for simplicity. But yeah, it's meant to be read as 24/7. So I hope that answers your question. Good luck for all to come as well. Thank you, Infa. Thank you for being a viewer. I appreciate you. Greatest Sheep asks, hey Chase, 2 questions. Do you like waffles more or pancakes? Personally, Sheep, I am a pancakes guy. I do like waffles, but I definitely prefer pancakes. I just like the fluffiness of them. And then you say, what are your thoughts on the Splatoon 3 story mode so far? I think it's going to be epic. So yeah, I actually just made a video about this. I think I released that video after you wrote this question. So I don't know if you saw that or not. But in short, I think it looks good. I think it looks unique. I think it looks like a step up from Splatoon 1 and 2. I'm just hoping that it takes some stuff from Auto Expansion because I thought Auto Expansion was amazing. So I think Nintendo will be dumb to not like incorporate stuff from it. But yeah, I think it looks good so far. It looks the best story mode. It looks to be the best story mode so far of the 3 games. Dav asks, congrats, you inspired me to play Tetras. Now they're my favorite weapon. That's awesome, Dav. I'm so glad I could inspire you. And you say, you have any special ideas for Splatoon 3? Not really. One idea that I've always had for a while was like maybe a special that could let you like go through walls or something. But I understand that probably never happened because 1, that would be super hard to program. And 2, that seems pretty broken and overpowered. So I doubt it would happen, but that's just an idea I had. But yeah, besides that, I don't really have anything. Ring Lemur has 2 questions. First, how much wood would woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Ring Lemur, that's for me to know and you to contemplate. And your next question is, do you think the squid roll is good for Doolies or bad? That's a tough question. That's what everyone's wondering right now. I want to say it's bad off the top of my head because you would think that would just kind of negate what Doolies can do because now every weapon can roll. But I think Nintendo thought about that. I think they found a way to balance it out so Dualies will still benefit from their normal dodge rolls alongside the squid roll and squid jump and whatever. So yeah, we'll see what happens. 7 Silver asks, do you plan on sticking to exclusively Splatoon once your channel blows up? Because it definitely will. Or willing to post some more games you find fun? Yeah, so 7 Silver, I kind of already answered this, but yeah, I've already been kind of uploading some other game footage, just a little bit. Right now, I kind of went back to just Splatoon, just because that's seeming to be the best for growing my channel. But yeah, once I get bigger, I would love to expand a bit and focus on just other Nintendo games that are not just Splatoon. But yeah, for right now, I'm sticking with just Splatoon. I'll probably go back to Mario Kart in a little bit once they release the next DLC wave. Christovac says, congrats on 5K. Have you made anything before Doolies? And if so, what weapon? Yeah, I have actually made stuff before Doolies because, as I said earlier, I only picked up Doolies after the Tetra Doolies came out. And that was like 8 months to the game's life cycle. So yeah, I did actually main 3 weapons before Doolies. So first was a very generic one. I mained the Splatter Shot. And I also, at the same time, I kind of mained the 96. Just because I used those 2 weapons in Splatoon 1. So they kind of just carried over to Splatoon 2. Yeah, 96 is still one of my favorite weapons. I like that weapon a lot. I just don't use it as much because it is kind of not that good in this game. It can be good, but, you know, it's very RNG heavy, and that pisses me off. So I tend to not use 96, but I love that. That weapon still has a very near and dear spot in my heart. And I might use it a bit for Splatoon 3. And then the other weapon I used in Splatoon 2 will surprise all of you, because I never actually really talked about this, but I did actually main the splatter scope for a few months. And if you guys don't believe me, take a look at this. This should be proof. I got 500,000 turf with it, so I definitely used it a little bit. What's funny is, if you guys scroll back enough, on this channel, I think in like 2017, there actually is some footage of me using splatter scope like in ranked, and it's horrible footage. Like I get like 3 kills in a game or something. It's so bad. I don't even know why I uploaded it, but it is there for your viewing pleasure if you like. But yeah, those are the 3 weapons I made. And then after that, it was only Doolies and a little bit of Flinks the Ruler. Bungie asks, do you think Dualies are going to be good in Splatoon 3, especially Gluga Dualies, because I made them too? Yeah, I actually do, Bungie. I do think Dualies, they'll at least be better than they are in Splatoon 2. I don't know if like they'll be top tier in Splatoon 3, but I do think that they have potential, and I think Nintendo will make an effort to make them at least more viable than Splatoon 2. Next, you ask, how old are you? I am currently 21 years old. And then 3, you say, I'm 13 and in the top 2,000 array maker since this month started, but I want to improve. Do you have any tips for me? Yeah, as a Gluga main, my main tip is don't get too aggressive. It's very easy to just kind of go in and take a bunch of fights. But, be safe. Try and stay alive. Don't die when you don't need to. Because a lot of times your team does need you to be alive, so just be cautious and only take fights that you need to. That's my tip. Meta asks, what's some good strategies to get better at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? My birthday is coming up very soon, and that's what I'm probably getting. Well, happy early birthday, Meta. And my main tip for getting better at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and any Mario Kart game really, is time trial. That is my number 1 tip. That is the best thing you could possibly do if you want to get good at Mario Kart. Time trialing lets you learn the tracks. It lets you know how to drive them in the best way possible. Race the world record ghosts. Race them and learn their strategies. You don't have to beat them, but just stay close with them. Keep restarting until you could like stay right behind them, and you will get better. I promise you. And the only other tip I have for that is just watch online guides. There is a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content on YouTube. Lots of great guides. Some good channels that make content are Basic, BAYESIC, I believe that's how you spell it. And JP Givner is another one. And who knows, maybe I'll make some Mario Kart guides in the future. And then you say, more serious question, how does it feel to get this far? 5K people enjoy your content enough to want to watch every video you put out, and I'm curious as to how that feels. Meta, it is one of the best feelings in the world because, I put so much time and effort into this, and to see it pay off and see people like my stuff, it makes me just want to keep going. So I appreciate all of you. Cannoli says, hey Chase, can you talk about how you think Splatfest will come back in Splatoon 3 or not, and if you want them to return? Yeah, I think they will come back for sure. I don't think they would get rid of those. They're pretty popular. And do I want them to return? So, personally, I don't care about Splatfest that much. I would care a lot more about it if they let you do ranked and league battles with them, but they don't, so, it's whatever. But, yeah, for the sake of the game and the popularity of Splatfest, yeah, I do want them to come back, but I hope there are other Splatoon events as well, and I hope that they let you play ranked and league finally for Splatfest. Hyodos asks, hi Chase, can I see gameplay of you playing Slosher? Since you play Doolies, I wanted to see how well or poorly someone can transfer over skill to fit a different class. Hyodos, I don't think that I'm gonna upload a whole video of me playing Slosher, but if you look hard enough, there is some videos like scrim highlights where I was using Slosher because I did try to make that weapon work for a bit. Ultimately, I did not like it that much, so I dropped it. But yeah, if you go back and search, I'm sure you could find some video of me playing it. But I could tell you though that it does not transfer very well. I've tried using Slosher and Soda Slosher, and I feel like the weapons play very differently. I don't think it transfers very well. I have no clue what I'm doing when I play Soda or even the other vanilla Sloshers. And of course, I can't. Explo is even worse. Or Blow Blob. Those are completely different weapons, I feel like. So those obviously don't work either. Asri asks, how did you meet up with Splatoon? Through an ad on TV, heard it from someone, etc.? I think, I first saw Splatoon in the very first Nintendo Direct that they announced it, and I thought it looked dumb. But yeah, as I said earlier, I didn't get it at first, but a week after it came out, my friends told me dude, you need to try this. This game is fun. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try it. And then I got it. I played it. I loved it. And that's that. He said, after it, how did you discover its competitive side and why did you join it? I knew competitive Splatoon existed for a long time, but I didn't get into it until after the pandemic, actually. It was April of 2020 when I got into competitive Splatoon 2. And I just joined it because some random person reached out to me and asked me, hey, you want to be on my team? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a try. I was curious what it felt like. And then after I did that, I was like, oh, wait, this is actually kind of cool. And then, yeah, from there, I played it for a bit. I played comp for about a year. And then After that, I realized like, oh wait, I kind of don't like Splatoon 2's meta, and comp can be a little infuriating. So I did stop after that. But for Splatoon 3, I do plan to get back into it. So yeah. Echo asks, what would you play in Splatoon 3 if for whatever reason no Doolies returned? Ooh. So off the bat, I would say I'd probably try and main the 96 gal. If the 96 turns out to be super RNG heavy and annoying again, which I mean, it probably will. It's a 96 cal. And I start getting frustrated, I will probably try and just main the Flings the Roller. And if that's garbage, then I don't know, Splatter Shot. I really don't know. I'll have to try some stuff out. But yeah, those are my main answers. Granted asks, I've seen you achieve A rank in Nintendo Switch bowling, badminton, and Shambara. Have you earned or are considering earning A rank for any other sports, and if so, which ones? So yeah, I have got A rank in tennis now, and I have that video ready to upload. It's just a matter of when I upload it. I might wait a bit for that. And then I do want to earn A rank in all of them, so I want to get it in soccer and volleyball as well. But those are the two sports that I care the least about, so it's a little hard for me to like get motivated to do it. But yeah, I do want to earn that legend status and get A rank in all 6 sports, and eventually golf when that comes out. So 7. Jim asks, what are your top 3 game series genre? Okay, so I'll do series. So number 1 is Mario Kart. Number 2 is Animal Crossing. Number 3 is Legend of Zelda, and I know you only asked for 3, but I'll give you 4. 4 is Splatoon. So those are my top 4. Gabriel asks, what do you think about Isabelle? I think that her gameplay is amazing. So I'm assuming you're talking about the Tetra player named Isabelle. If people watching don't know, Isabelle is definitely one of the best Western Tetra players. Definitely better than me. She scares me a lot. But yeah, no, I think Isabelle's great. I look up to her. I've watched her gameplay a lot. I've learned a lot from watching her gameplay. A few years ago, like when I first started comp, I think that me and Isabelle were like around the same level. Like I remember, like when we would encounter each other in ranked in league, like I could hold my own against Isabelle, but nowadays I think Isabelle would absolutely destroy me. Especially because I don't play comp and she's advanced a lot in comp. I think she's like a +1 player now or something. So yeah, definitely will get destroyed by Isabelle now. But yeah, no, I look up to Isabelle a lot. I think she's great. Fam asks, if you can make a different type of weapon class, what will it be? So fam, I gotta be honest with you, I have 0 ideas for this. I've been asked this before, and I can never come up with anything because I am not creative from a game development aspect. I don't know, maybe like a food weapon class? Like, there's like a sushi weapon or a taco weapon? I don't know. I really have no idea how that would even work, but Splatoon is crazy, so you gotta think of crazy stuff like that. But yeah, that's all I could come up with, really. Epic Evan asks, if you were to main a weapon other than Tetras, what would it be? Also, if it isn't a Dooley at all. So if I just can't use Tetras, but I could still use other types of Doolies, then definitely Gluga Doolies. I think that's also a very good weapon that I feel like I'm pretty decent with. So that would definitely be it. But if I couldn't use Doolies at all, as I said earlier, it would either be Foil Flings a Roller, which I already do use a decent amount, or 96 Gal. Those are probably my 2 picks. Masterface asks, besides Splatoon 2, what is one game on the Nintendo Switch that you enjoy the most? Well, there's a few games on the Switch that I enjoy, but the one that I enjoy the most, probably Breath of the Wild. If you even count that as a Switch game. I mean, I do. I know it was made for the Wii U, but, it really sold well on Switch. I consider it a Switch game, too. So yeah, Breath of the Wild is probably my favorite Switch game. Our Animations asks, what would you do to make Splat Doolies better? So I actually made a whole video talking about my thoughts on Splat Doolies, and in that video I do give like quite a few ideas for how they can make them better. So I won't re-say all of those. If you want to hear all of them, go check out the video. But I think the main things I said were improve its ink consumption with rolls, which they did do, but they still need to do it a bit more, in my opinion. It's still you still run out of ink pretty fast with dodge rolls. And then I think the main thing that cucks it is that you just need the dodge roll speed is too slow. It feels so clunky. It's very easy to just die mid-dodge roll because it's not fast enough, so I think either like improve the dodge roll speed, or they could do. I think what I said in the video was like do the CDS thing to them, where like you can still move after a dodge roll. Like you do the slide thing. I feel like that would be actually really good for Splat Doolies. I don't think that would make them broken, but I do think it would help them out a lot. I think that's something they could definitely do to make Splat Doolies a bit better. Bruce asks, how much did Splatoon change your life, and how many hours do you have in Splatoon? So Bruce, Splatoon has changed my life a lot. It's definitely the game that's probably left the most impact on my life. Like, I wouldn't call Splatoon my favorite game. Like, I still prefer other series, but it's up there for me though. But in terms of just like affecting my life and like what I've done and what I've accomplished, like, yeah, Splatoon is the most important game by far. Like, Splatoon is what got my YouTube channel off and running. Like, yeah, I uploaded other content before Splatoon, but Splatoon is what really made me take off, and I will always be thankful for that. And then you ask, how many hours do I have in Splatoon? I don't know off the top of my head, but I will check after recording this, and I will put the screenshot right on the screen for you. So here you go. Aggressive Sheep asks, what's your highest splat in the game? Mine is 18. I don't have a screenshot of it, unfortunately, but I do recall it was a league game. I think I got 36. I think that's my highest. That's my record. Rami asks, how would you nerf Dooley Squalters? To be honest, the only thing I think they need to do to nerf Dooley Squalters is just get rid of the MPU 3-shot. That's all they need to do. All those nerfs they gave it, like in one of the recent patches, where like they made its like jump accuracy worse and then nerfed its ink consumption. They didn't actually need to do that. All they need to do is just nerf the 3-shot on the MPU. That's what makes that weapon dumb. If they remove that, I have no problem with the weapon, really. They just need to take away. I know I whine about like it being able to like do the whole like it's the only Dooley that doesn't have to stop after a roll and all that stuff, but like if it just didn't have the 3-shot with MPU, it will be fine. Like, really, that's all it is. Dead Eyes Kelpie asks, hello Chase, how are you doing? My first question is, where did you grow up, if you don't mind telling? Also, what made you pick up Splatoon 2 and main Dooley? Sorry, there's asking too much. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Kelpie. And so yeah, I already answered the last part of your question earlier in the video, but you're asking where did I grow up? Yeah, so I grew up in Southern California, and that is still where I live, actually. Chaza asks, if Doolies are really bad in Splatoon 3, will you still use them? I'm gonna try, Chaza. I'll try. I will try my best. I don't think they're gonna be bad. I think they'll be okay in Splatoon 3. I have high hopes. But yeah, if they are for some reason bad, if they're like they are in Splatoon 2, yes, I will still use them. Barry Bay asks, hey Chase, bit of a personal one, but where did you grow up? As I just said, Southern California. And what was my childhood like? My childhood was good. I had a very fortunate childhood. I played a lot of games when I was younger. I played a lot of Wii. Played a ton of Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, all those games. Wii Sports Resort is one of my favorite games of all time just because of the nostalgia. But yeah, lots of Nintendo games in my childhood as well. Probably more Nintendo games than I play now, actually. I played a lot more games back then. Axiom says, you want to do a collab video sometime? Axiom, I'm down, bro. Just hit me up and we'll discuss it. And you say, really, what weapon kits do you want for Tetra Glugas for Splat 3? So yeah, again, just be patient. I'm making a video on this very topic, and I will cover my kits for every Dooley in Splatoon 3. So look forward to that. Granted says, would you consider uploading more Nintendo Switch sports content in the future? And if so, what would it look like? Yeah, definitely. That's a game that, as of right now, I'm quite enjoying. I am getting a little burned out with it though, just because there's only 6 sports right now, and you do kind of get a little tired of it after a bit, just because there's not that much to do once you reach like maximum rank and everything. But yeah, I want to finish reaching A rank in my final 2 sports, which are volleyball and soccer. And then once I reach those, I don't know, I guess I'll just upload some high level matches from each of the sports. And then besides that, I don't really know what I could do. One thing I do want to do is I want to make like a full on like video review for Nintendo Switch Sports. Game reviewing is something that I actually want to get into. And I think that'd be a great game to start off on because not a lot of people have made content about that game. So I think that would be a good one to start out with. But yeah, so reviewing the game and then just high level gameplay. I think that's what I'll stick with. Galactic says, my question to you is, if toxicity like squid bagging is that serious of a taunting technique, I'll use it in ranked, and people tend to play worse after you squid bag them, and I've always wondered if it's just the player base being sensitive. I don't really know. People always say that squid bagging is like a valid tactic, but I don't really see that many people doing it in ranked. Like, I play a lot of ranked, and I rarely see people actually do that. So I think people just say that it's a valid tactic, but I don't think people actually do it. But yeah, I think it depends on the person you're playing against. Like, yeah, if they get easily like offended or something, then yeah, like it probably will work against them. But should you do it? No. I don't think it's not a morally good strategy. All right, 3 questions from Bethilra. 1, how are you? I'm doing very good. Thank you for asking. 2, what are your ideal kits for all the Doolies in Splatoon 2? I'm assuming you mean Splatoon 3. And of what have we seen? Okay, so yeah, again, I'm making a video on that soon, so just keep an eye out for that. And then 3, where can I find professional clips of you? The best place to find professional clips of me, besides my YouTube, is probably follow me on Twitter. I post a lot of Splatoon clips there. A lot of clips that I post there don't make it on my YouTube. So yeah, that's a good place to check me out. And also just follow my Twitter. Link in description. I post a lot of updates there for new videos and stuff. Goofy Red says, what's up, man? I just recently started watching ya. Dooley's main. I really do love watching your content. I just want to know, what sense do you use for motion controls and R-stick? Kind of having trouble with being accurate with my shots. So, Goofy Red, I actually use the maximum sensitivity that lets you, which is +5/+5. But, sensitivity is something that's really subjective. It doesn't work for everybody. For the weapons I use, Tetra Doolies, Dapple Doolies, and even Gluga Doolies, +5/+5 is good for them because you want to be able to flick your controller and react fast to things. But again, it can't work for everybody. I know Tetra players who use much lower sensitivity. So just try out different things, see what works best for you, and just do a lot of testing. That's my best advice. Kip says, why are Dapples the best gun in the game? Because they have toothbrushes on them, that's why. Okay, Reddit World has the most important question, apparently, of all time. Will you remember me when you're famous? Reddit World, I will absolutely remember you when I'm famous, if I ever get famous. Yes, I will remember you. I will remember this comment. It will go down in history as the most legendary question I ever received on my Q&A. Blagusin asked, do you hold any philosophical ideologies, like any Aristotelian or pessimistic views? No, not really. Not that I could really think of. Retro asks, is there a way to get better without playing motion? I get motion sickness. So, Retro, there are people who play this game who are quite good without using motion controls, but I will say, and I'm sure you heard this a lot, it's way easier to use motion controls. So if you can, try and be able to use them, but if you can't, yeah, it is possible to get good with sticks, but it depends on the weapon you play. Like, for example, if you want to use the weapon that I use most, which is the Tetra Dualies, you cannot use stick controls. Like, it's not possible. You need to use motion if you want to play Tetra Dualies, or really any Dooley. I feel like it's not possible to do well with Doolies if you use stick controls. So yeah, it depends on the weapon. Swio asks, how did you get into the Splatoon community? I think I reached out to someone who I faced a lot in the league, who had like the Discord tag in their name, and that led me to meeting like one friend group, and then eventually I made like a Twitter, and then I started reaching out to other people, and then I got into more friend groups, and then that's basically how it happened. John Tavius Clark asks, which agent character do you like the most? Agent 8 from the Octo expansion is my favorite agent. He also asks, which Splatfest from Splatoon 1 or Splatoon 2 do you like? I recall liking the very first Splatfest that ever happened, I think, on Splatoon 1, which I believe was cat versus dog. I felt really strongly about that one because I'm someone who heavily prefers cats over dogs. So, and then like my friend group, like it was really mixed. Like they all preferred dogs. So it was just kind of like, really, it was really intense, and I was really into that one. Every single one after that, I didn't care about as much, but that was the one where like I genuinely enjoyed myself. And you say, do you have an Instagram or Discord? Sadly, I do not have either of those yet. I do plan on making a Discord once I hit 10,000 subscribers. So who knows when that'll be? But yeah, that'll be the plan for 10K. Ooh, MNTR asks, what is your favorite band in Splatoon? Oh, geez. I don't even really know the bands. My favorite song in Splatoon 2 is that one Splatfest song, what's called Ebb and Flow by the Off the Hook. So I guess Off the Hook? I don't know. I don't really like any of the songs in Splatoon 2, to be honest with you. I like some of the Splatoon 1 music a lot more, but I don't know the bands that made the Splatoon 1 music, so whoops. T73 Timmy asks, what do you look like? Well, I face revealed earlier in the video, technically, so go back and search for that if you want to see. Zoe Smith asks, hi, I was wondering if you are an artist, and if you are, traditional or digital? Zoe, sadly, I'm not an artist. I wish I was. But no, any art that you see on this channel, like my profile picture or my banner, was made by someone else, and they are always credited in the description of my videos. So yeah, if you're curious on who made that art, go check those out. Gus asks, I'm in Ketsa 52 gal. Are you mad at me? Anyway, keep up the amazing content. Gus, I'm just a little disappointed in you, but I still respect you. Just don't do it again. Fat Player asked, how did you come to Nintendo games? What was your first Nintendo game? Oh, gosh. I'll be honest, I don't remember what my first Nintendo game was. It was some like third-party game, I think, on the Nintendo GameCube. My first console was the GameCube. I think it was called like, the first game I ever played in my life was called, it was on the GameCube. It was called like Carmen Sandiego, like Mystery of the Stolen Drums or something. That was the very first game I played. And I really liked that game. It's third party, but I thought that was a great game. But yeah, oh geez. In terms of like first party Nintendo, I don't even remember what my first game was genuinely. Might have been Zelda Wind Waker? I don't know. But yeah, when my dad got a Wii when it first came out, that's when I really started getting into like gaming, like Wii Sports and stuff. Magic37 asks, thoughts on Grim Range Blaster? I think Grim is a really cool weapon. I think it's hard to play, but I really respect people who are good with it. Like meta-wise, I think it kind of gets wrecked by armor. But no, the Burst Bomb combo on it is really strong. But yeah, it's just hard to play. But I think it's a really cool weapon. Negus asks, why don't you stream Splatoon? So yeah, for a long time I did not stream Splatoon because I just don't enjoy myself when I do it. I get frustrated. People lobby snipe me, which I'm not really a fan of. And I don't know, just overall, I just struggle to maintain a positive attitude. But I do want to get back into streaming it a little bit. Not often, but I will stream it a bit. So definitely follow me on Twitch if you want to see that, because I stream on Twitch. And I do also stream other games as well, such as Mario Kart and Switch Sports. So yeah, link in description. Please follow me on Twitch. Setu asks, when are we going to collab? Setu, right now. We're literally going to film it right now. I'm ready. I'll DM you. No, in all seriousness, no, soon though, man. I'm down. We could just league or do. If you have an idea, just hit me up. I'm down. We just need to plan ahead. Amber asks, would you kiss Silver Splatver? Only if he takes me out to dinner first. And how do you like your eggs? Ooh, I like my eggs a lot of different ways. There's scrambled, fried, fertilized. I gotta say scrambled. Fertilized a close second. Izumi says, what is your favorite anime? My favorite anime is called 86. It's a relatively new anime. I think it was just like within the last 2 years. It was amazing. I loved every single episode. I have no complaints about it. The music, composed by Hiroyuki Sawano, best composer ever. I loved every single aspect of it. I highly recommend it if you have not seen it. Another question from Fat Player. How many times are you going to change your profile picture and why? I change my profile picture whenever I receive a new commission, like new art. So yeah, I'll probably change it plenty of times in the future. So, Spirits Gaming asks, do you have a family? Yes, I have a family. I am an only child, but yes, I do have a family. I do have parents, yes. Crispy Cereal asks, what do you think is a better market, cryptocurrency or Forex? I'll be honest, I have zero clue because I know next to nothing about either of those things he's listed. I'm not really a cryptocurrency kind of guy, so I cannot answer this question. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is confusing. So Kraken asks, when did you get in touch with IRL? And I don't really know what they were asking here, so I was trying to get clarification, but then I think they were trolling me because they just kept saying the same thing again and again. So Kraken, I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about here. JP the Tokyo Agent asks, will you ever face reveal? JP, I have face revealed on my Twitter like multiple times, but I think I deleted those. But I literally technically face revealed. I video revealed earlier in this Q&A, so just go back and find that, and yes, you will see my face. Evan Robertson asks, what is my opinion on apartments? I just made a whole video about that, so go check that out. But in short, I think they're cool, and I'm welcoming to it. Kami K asks, congratulations, Chase. You're an inspiration to me as a Dooley main. Question, as a pro player, have you dreamed about Splatoon? You are amazing. Thank you so much, Kami. And yes, I have dreamed about Splatoon plenty of times. It often revolves around like me reaching 2700 XP or even higher. Like just reaching a goal that I've had for a while that I was never able to do. Or just like a new weapon or something that doesn't actually exist. That's mainly what it's revolved around. But yes, I have dreamed a lot of times about Splatoon. All right, Nicholas asks, how do you feel about streaming? Is it something you consider getting into in the future? I'd love to see your content in real time, not just Splatoon, but also your variety games like Switch Sports and Mario Kart. Congratulations in advance 5K. Thank you, Nicholas. And actually, I do stream. A lot of people don't know that. I actually do stream. The link to my Twitch is in the description. I don't stream Splatoon very often, mainly just because it makes me mad, and I'm not able to maintain a positive attitude while streaming Splatoon. But I do stream Switch Sports and Mario Kart like pretty often. And when Splatoon 3 comes out, I do plan on streaming that a bit more. And who knows, maybe I'll even stream some more Splatoon 2 before Splatoon 3. But yeah, just give my Twitch a follow. And yeah, we will see what happens from there. Tim asks, if you get to design an entire new kind of dually, what exactly would it function like in terms of the rolls and slides? How would it shoot, and what kits would it get? And if your design, let's say hypothetically, made it into Splatoon 3, would they have an extra function of sorts? So, Tim, I don't know if you saw it, but I actually made a whole video recently about this very topic where I talked about a potential new backline dually and a supportive dually, and I even talked about like kits and how they would work in terms of rolls and stuff. So yeah, go check that out. Crazy Cat says, congratulations on reaching 5. I was wondering, how many matches do you think you usually do a week? Turf War, Tower Control, Splat Zones, Rainmaker, and Clown Blitz. Okay, so if you asked me this 2 years ago, the answer would be like in the hundreds. I would play so much Splatoon back then. But nowadays, after quitting comp and stuff, I really don't play as much anymore. I'll just hop on like once or twice a week to like get some ranked footage. So I'd say it's less than 50. Maybe like anywhere between 30 and 50 per week now. But again, it used to be like 200 or 300 probably. I played way too much of this game. Afu asks, what do you or did you do in terms of education/career? I'm curious what interests you in that sector. Big congrats at 5K. Thank you, Afu. So yeah, right now I am in university. I'm studying cinema and television arts. My prime goal is I would like to be an editor for like a TV show or a streaming show, just anything in the television department. That really interests me. So editing is something that has I found a lot of enjoyment in the past couple years. Everything that I've learned up to this point has just been self-taught, just through like YouTube tutorials and stuff, but I really would like to take it to the next level and get to like a professional level. So that is what I'm doing right now in terms of school. Also, right now I do currently work at a gym. Remember earlier in the video how I told you guys that I'm really into Ninja Warrior and training for that and stuff. Yeah, I actually work at a gym that trains people for that show, both adults and children. I work with a lot of kids, actually. We have a lot of like kids classes and stuff. So that is a very cool job that I'm very honored to have gotten. And I plan to stay there for a bit until I just don't have time to work there anymore. But I've been enjoying that for the past few years that I've been working there. Tyson asks, how did you decide on a design for your Inkling/Octoling? Most Splatoon YouTubers have an iconic look, and I'm curious how they went with designing said look. Tyson, I can't really speak for other YouTubers, but for me, there really wasn't that much thought put into it. I kind of just was like, all right, this gear looks cool. I like how this looks. It works with my weapon. And then, I was like, okay, well, I guess this is just my look now. And then I started commissioning art that featured that said clothing. So here we are. Lunasense Moon says, congrats on the 5,000. Question to you is, before Splatoon 2, what was your main weapon before you decided to pick up your signature preferred weapon class, and how did you improve it over the years until now? So as I said before, my main weapons were the Splatter Shot, 96 cal, and Splatter Scope. And how did I improve it over the years until now? Just a lot of playing, lots of League, lots of Ranked, lots of scrimming. He's got to stay consistent, watch other players who are better than you, ask for tips, you will improve. And when Splatoon 3 comes out, what classes of weapons will you plan to pick up as a new release? As of right now, I don't really plan on picking up anything new. I'm just gonna kind of stick with what I know. I'll try out the bow and stuff and see how it feels, but I doubt I'm gonna like it. Like I'll just try it out. And be like, okay, that's cool. Then move on. Captain Caption asks, if you could tweak the maps from Splatoon 1, which aren't confirmed in 3 yet, like Urchin, Underpass, and Flounder Heights and more, before porting them to Splatoon 3, what changes would you make? So this is a pretty broad question. I'm just going to give you one map and what I would change for it. So Flounder Heights is the map that I want to come back the most out of any map in either Splatoon 1 or 2. So yeah, I'll talk about Flounder Heights. One thing I think they could do to that map is just make the ramps to get up to like top mid like a little less steep, like not a whole lot less steeper, but like somewhat less steep, because I recall it being very, very steep and it was kind of annoying. They don't have to do that though, but like that's just a change that I would recommend. Tamanakio asks, if there was a new weapon class in Splatoon 3 that was just 3 shooters at the same time, similar to the Doolies in Splatoon 2, would you pick it up? Ooh, I would definitely try that out, but I don't think I would use it much. It depends like how it feels really, but no, I feel like I would kind of stick with Doolies. It would be something I would just play for fun. Alpha Beta asks, I'm a Dooley Squalters main, so my question is, if you had to main one Dooley for the rest of your Splatoon career, what would it be? Oh, definitely Dualies. That's basically already my super main weapon. That's the one I use the most of any of them. Like, Dualies, I have like 8, I almost have 9 million turf on Dualies, whereas the second closest Dooley I have is like 2 million, I think. So, yeah. Eyes51 asks, hopefully I'm not too late, and congrats. You're not too late. You barely just made the cut, Eyes. How did your life change by playing Splatoon? Ooh, it changed a lot. There's definitely no game that I've ever dedicated so much time to before Splatoon. Mainly because of YouTube, of course. But also, you know, I just played a lot of Splatoon even without YouTube because I played comp for like a year. That took a lot of time. Just making YouTube content, like, I love it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it definitely takes a chunk out of my life that I could definitely be doing other things with. But even with saying that, though, I do love doing it, and I'm really thankful for all of you guys. And yeah, I don't know, I have Splatoon to thank for getting 5,000 followers, 5,000 people who enjoy my content is all thanks to Splatoon. So yeah, Splatoon has definitely done a lot for me. And you say, did you play any sports in high school / what sports have you played? So I did not play any sports in high school. I'm not really a team sport kind of guy. When I was really young, like 6, 7, I played baseball. But, you know, that every kid does something like that. So I don't even really count that. But yeah, no high school sports. I do... I don't know. If you want to count this as a sport, then I guess you could say, like, the Ninja Warrior stuff that I do. Because technically, a lot of people do consider, at least people in the community, consider Ninja Warrior to be some kind of a sport. I personally don't, but I guess you could count it as one. And I did rock climb for a bit, so that's a sport. It's an individual sport, but that is a sport. So yeah, besides those two things, that's really the only sports that I've done in my life. Hovermelon asks, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Would it be for the environment, culture, economics, or something else? So yeah, if there was any place in the world that I could live, it would definitely be Japan, for the culture mainly. The reason I say that is because when I think about it, every single piece of media in life that like I'm obsessed with, like there's Splatoon, just Nintendo in general, really. And then the whole Ninja Warrior thing, that originated in Japan, with Sasuke. And I like anime now, which is another thing. Like, you know, all these things that I obsess over, it all started from Japan. So, you know, I feel like I would owe it to them, I guess, to like visit. I don't know. Like Japan has done so much for my life just with things they created. So I would love to visit there and just get to experience some of their culture. Zompig asks, what shooter do you think would work best if they were turned into Doolies? It's basically like Dual Squelcher to Dooley Squelchers. Ooh, that's a good one. I think maybe Splattershot Pro. Splattershot Pro, probably. Oh, I don't know, Splattershot? I want to say Splattershot Pro. I think Splattershot Pro with its range. I mean, I guess that would be kind of similar to Dooley Squelchers, huh? But it would have a better kill time. Yeah, I think Splattershot Pro is my answer. I actually saw like someone did a hack where like they did that, like they made like Splattershot Pro Doolies, and it was like it looked really, really good. So yeah, I'm gonna say Splattershot Pro. Shroom asks, how long did it take to master Doolies, and what did you do to train? Okay, so first off, I don't think I mastered Doolies. There are definitely a lot of people who are way more skilled than I am, but I appreciate the comment. But yeah, I still definitely have a long way to go before I would say that I mastered Doolies. But to get to where I've gotten to, it's just a lot of commitment. I did not use much else. I did not flop around with different weapons. I stuck to Doolies. I played with a lot of different people, a lot of people who are better than me, and they gave me tips. Not just necessarily people who play Doolies, but just people in general who know what they're doing in this game. They helped me a lot. They gave me tips. Because even if someone else who plays a different weapon than you, like, that doesn't necessarily mean they can't give you advice. Like, they can give you general advice. And sometimes, you know, people have vast knowledge of different weapons in the game. And yeah, just I played a lot of League and solo. Even before I got into comp, I played a lot of League and solo. So that gave me like a good mechanical head start, I guess, on some other people who got into comp like without as much mechanical experience. So I had that going for me as well. And then what did I train? Well, besides just playing a lot, I went a lot in the training room. that the game offers, the little warm-up area, and I did a lot of drills there. And if you guys want to see some of those drills, I do have a couple videos on my channel that shows them. It's like how to warm up with Tetra Dualies and how to warm up with Dapple Dualies. A lot of the techniques I use in those two videos are what I use to actually warm up. So, Storm the Dooley main says, "Will you make more vids teaching how you play Dualies well?" For Splatoon 3, definitely. For Splatoon 2, I don't think so. I think I'm kind of done with really like competitive tutorial content. Maybe I'll make like a tips video or something, but you know, I'm not gonna make like a whole in-depth like guide, really. But if you look back, I do have videos where like, you know, I talk about my strategies and stuff like that and techniques you could do. So check those out. I think I've released enough to this point where like if you just go back and look, like you could get a pretty good basis on like what I do and how I train and stuff like that. But for Splatoon 3, you could definitely expect more videos like that. All right, great question from Tom here. He says, what would you have MPU do for each dually instead of damage up? Okay, for Gluga dualies, definitely painting power up because that weapon needs it. I think for Tetra dualies, it could also use painting power up or maybe, I don't know, slight range increase. Dapple dualies, slight range increase, maybe 5% maximum. Kind of what it does like Jet Squalter. What else? What else is there? What's the other dually? Oh, Splat Dualies. I think for Splat Dualies, I would do either roll speed up or roll distance up. And for Dually Squelchers, ooh, that's a good one for Dually Squelchers. I guess for them, it could be like jump accuracy up, like if you jump without doing a roll. Like where you just do like a spread mode jump and then you shoot. I think that could use some increased accuracy. But again, that's always assuming that none of these have damage up. Otherwise, none of these should even exist. Remixed Fern asks, what aim drills or training do you do? Your aim is very good. Thank you. So as I just said in a previous question, I actually have I have two videos on my channel. One is how to warm up with Tetra Dualies. The other one is how to warm up with Dapple Dualies. And in those videos, I show a ton of drills that I do to warm up. So yeah, just follow those. And then even if you don't use those weapons, like you can still apply some of those techniques to other weapons as well. And you know, you come up with your own drills too. Like you don't have to just do what I did in those videos. Like you could get a little creative. Just come up with your own angles. Come up with your own distance away from the dummies. You know, anything you want to do. Gauze asks, what class would you play if Dualies didn't exist / your second favorite class? So, yeah, so I already used Flingza Roller in Splatoon 2. I used the foil Flingza, so I guess Roller. If not that, then Shooters probably. Like, I like 96 and Spider Shot. Ideally, I wouldn't use those, though, just because I don't like using Shooters, because that's very basic and lame. Okay, Sage Mastermania asks, do you think Splatoon 3 will have the same issue at launch as Splatoon 2 did back then? Okay, so I'm assuming you mean like lack of content, lack of weapons at launch. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. And, well, Nintendo already confirmed that every basic main weapon, so the vanilla kits, are going to be in the game's launch. So that's a great sign. So I think it's already going to be better than 1 and 2, especially because I think people are saying they had more time to develop Splatoon 3, and then whereas I think Splatoon 1 and 2 were kind of rushed, so I think that might have played into it. But yeah, I do think that it will definitely be better than the first two games. I just hope there's a decent amount of stages to start with, because I think Splatoon 2 had like 6 or something. It was something dumb like that. I hope it's at least 10. Like we need at least 10. 5 asks, Grats on 5K. Who's your favorite Splatoon idol and agent, if any? Favorite idol is Marina. Favorite agent is Agent 8 from the Octo expansion. Alex asks, since Doolies are only in Splatoon 2, what did you use in the original Splatoon? I use the Splatter Shot, 96 Gal, and the Splatter Scope. And I actually used a little bit of E-Leader in Splatoon 1 as well, because I actually liked E-Leader in that game. 7 Fox asks, what are your goals in Splatoon? I mean, for Splatoon 2, I still have some goals. Like, I still want to reach 2700 XP with Tetra Dualies. That's always been one of my dreams. Actually, I just want to get 2700 in general, but if I could do it with Tetra Dualies, that would be even more amazing. But that's such a hard thing to do. That is only very few people in the world have done that for good reason, because that's super hard to do. In Splatoon 3, when I return to comp, I would like to be at a little higher level than I reached in Splatoon 2. Because Splatoon 2, I would say I was like, at best, like high Div 2. But you know, I'd love to be Div 1 or even Div X possibly, but who knows? It depends on how good Dualies are in Splatoon 3, because like, I'm not just gonna change up my weapon to be more recognized or be at a higher skill. Like I'm gonna stick with Dualies. So let's just hope Dualies are good in Splatoon 3, and then maybe I could advance a little bit. Other than that, I don't know. I just want to keep making content, keep pleasing you guys, keep making some banger videos that you guys enjoy, and yeah. JB33 asks, what is your favorite main series Pokemon game? That would have to be Pokemon Black 2 or Pokemon White 2. I think those are peak. That was the last genuinely good Pokemon game. I mean, I liked X and Y, and I actually liked Sun and Moon. But those are not very well-received games. I actually did like those, though. But yeah, the last game that I genuinely thought was really good was Pokemon Black and White 2. Soul Silver and Heart Gold were really good too, but I like Black and White 2 just a little bit more. Zokemon asks, what do you think about Brellas? I think Brellas are a really cool weapon class. Very hard to use, very high skill ceiling. I've tried using Splat Brella before. It is so hard, especially because of that thing's ink consumption. It's so hard to not run out of ink with that thing, but no, I respect everyone who uses Splat Brella. And like, it's funny because Splat Brella is good against dualies and shooters, which are like, you know, the weapons I play. So I struggle against good Brella players, but I don't even care because I respect people who are able to use that thing and do well with it. Tent is also another one. Like, Tent is super hard to use well. Even Undercover is actually my favorite Brella to use, just because it's probably the easiest one. But yeah, no, every Brella I respect heavily. I love that. I love that class. If I could use it, I would. Okay, Agent 7 asks, what really got your channel off the ground? So there's a few videos that got my channel off the ground. Like, yeah, if you scroll back really far, I have some videos with like hundreds of thousands of views, but those are really old and those aren't even Splatoon. Those are like Wii Sports videos. So I don't count those. Those were like before my true time. But what really started gaining me subscribers though was I remember I made a video talking about like why Dooley struggle in Splatoon 2, and I talked about like, why MPU ruins them and stuff. That video is what really seemed to get my channel going. Like, I remember I got like 400 subscribers off just that video. It was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. And like that video did so well too. It got over 10,000 views. I was like really amazed. But yeah, that was the first video I made that really like started getting me off the ground, I would say. All right, guys, we are nearing the end here. Only 2 questions left, and I think these might be 2 of the most important questions of them all. So first up, we have Linus asking, why is your name Chase 24/7? So there's a bit of background behind this. So when I first got into online gaming, which was when the Wii U came out, those of you who had a Wii U, you know what Miiverse is. I made an account for Miiverse called Wii U 24/7. Just because I didn't really know what to call myself back then. I was literally only 13 years old, and I was like, okay, well, I'm probably going to be on my Wii U a lot. Why don't I just call myself Wii U 24/7? And then, so yeah, that's what I went with. And then I stuck with that for like maybe a year or 2. And then after that, when I got a little older, I was like, okay, wait, that sounds kind of stupid. But I was like, but I do like the 24/7. So I was like, wait, why don't I just take my name and put the 24/7 behind it? And that's pretty much all it is. I just stuck with that for all these years. So now I am Chase 24/7. Now, if you want to assign a deeper meaning behind the Chase 24/7, like what does that mean exactly? Feel free to come with theories, but I'm not going to go into that. And last but not least, what's perhaps the most important question of all in this entire list is from Lemonade. Most favorite dish that your mom/dad made for you? Well, you know what, Lemonade? I think if I had to pick one, I think my favorite dish that my mom makes is tonkatsu with rice and miso soup. I think that is my favorite dish that my parents have made for me. Oh my god, I think we're done. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that was a journey. This is like my 3rd day of recording answers. Jeez. Woo. Yeah, guys, please like the video just for my effort. This was a lot of work. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you took this time to learn a bit more about me. I hope you feel a little closer to me. If you guys have any more questions, I didn't answer. I know I was not able to answer all of the questions that were asked just for the sake of time, and there were a lot of repeats, and some of them I just genuinely didn't have an answer to some of them, so I just didn't bother including them. But yeah, if you guys have any other like questions that you're dying to know about, I guess you could drop them in the comments and I'll answer them. But who knows? Maybe down the line I'll do another Q&A, and you guys could ask more stuff there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for 5,000. Really, I know I said it already, but I truly do appreciate it. And if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't even be doing this. So yeah, more content to come. Splatoon 3, you will be seeing a lot from me. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Take care.